Ever wondered why you're so confused about what a masterboard is versus what collage is? Probably because there are only subtle differences. Welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. And one of my viewers, Bente, asked, what are the differences between a masterboard and a collage? And I'm going to assume she's not the only one with that question. She was the one brave enough to ask it. Thank you so much for asking. I wasn't sure what my video was going to be about today, so this helped. I looked up on Google, and this is what AI overview on Google is. A masterboard is a large sheet of mixed media paper that artists create themselves. It can be 12 by 12, A5, or the back of an envelope. Masterboards can contain paint, collage, patterns, stamping, stencils, and scribbles. Artists use masterboards to make cards, artist trading cards, ATCs, journal pages, and mini albums. That's a limited amount of things. There's so many more things that can be made using a masterboard, like journal cards, pockets, tags, anything really that you want to put in your journal. And then and then also on imagecraftsblog.com, a masterboard is a self-made mixed media patterned paper the artist creates herself. So basically, a masterboard is just a larger piece that you create yourself. Like these mixed media pieces that I have here don't have any collage on them right now. I could use them in a collage, or I could cut them down to make smaller pieces, which would then make this a masterboard. And here's another one. It's paint, stamping, stenciling, mark making, which is I think what AI meant by scribbles. And so these all could be considered masterboards. Even my drop papers could be considered masterboards if I cut them down to make smaller pieces of ephemera. So a masterboard is something you make yourself. So it's not just a piece of plain scrapbook paper. It's something that maybe you started with scrapbook paper. Like I think that's what this was. It was a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. And then I added stuff to it, which now I've made my own pattern paper. And so now this could be considered a masterboard. And also, you know, like what I did last week, collage papers all over to make a masterboard, then I would then cut down. A collage, here's the definition, because Webster's actually has a definition for collage. They did not have a definition for masterboard because we've kind of made that up ourselves in the crafting community. I think it originally started with card making, where someone was making, you know, a masterboard and cutting it down to make the backing for the front of their cards. I think that's how it started, but I'm not sure. It's really hard to find that kind of information on the internet of the origin of a masterboard. But it's been around for a while, but maybe only since like 2012. But probably there was some other form of it before that. Maybe it was called something else. Nothing's new under the sun, you know. So the definition of a collage is a piece of art made by sticking various different materials, such as photographs and pieces of paper or fabric, onto a backing. And for me, collage is just layering. So you can use paper, fabric, lace, anything to do your collage. This one is watercolor. Is it watercolor? I don't know. Anyway, they're just doodle flowers, and I've collaged them on here in an artistic way. That doesn't have to be how you do your collage. You could, let's see, where's the page I found? Oh, like this is a collage here. I've layered up papers and a metal piece. Also, this is also a collage, and I've used a piece of corrugated cardboard in there too. So I gotta remember, lay that straight so you guys can see it. And a button, and lace. So, you know, a collage is just layered pieces of whatever you want to layer. And then this is also a collage, and it does have some mixed media here too. We've got inking, stenciling, modeling paste, or, you know, texture paste, and papers and whatnot. So a collage is usually a little bit more like this. However, you can also just glue them down randomly. Like here, this is collage. It's just papers have been glued together, and I made this just to have like the size paper for whatever, for a certain journal I think I was making at some point in time. So collage, this could be a form of collage. Also, glue booking is a form of collage. And you're just gluing stuff down, you're layering stuff down, whether it's random or what. You're just gluing your stuff down. This is my prompt book. This is all collage in here, but they're not masterboards. So masterboards can be collage. Collage can be masterboards, but not all collage is masterboards, and not all masterboards are collage. See, there's some subtle differences, which can make it confusing. Because I think that this could be considered collage as well. Because I have all these fabrics on here in a collaged manner. They're a little more random. So your collage can be random, or it can be, you know, just real pretty to make a background for your focal point, which is what, you know, these were. Let's see. Like, this is a collage. Well, it's a digital collage that I printed out. But you can see the layers. You got the picture, the sticker, the background paper, and that. So it's a digital collage that I then printed and cut out. Let's see, anything else in here? That is collage. Oh, and you can see a collage in the background as a, you know, to put my focal point on. And let's see, oh, this here, also a collage. I've just layered some pieces to do that. And also, when I'm making my clusters, that's essentially collage. I'm layering papers and fabrics. They're not always glued down. Sometimes they're stapled, but essentially that's what I believe a collage to be. Layering things like papers, fabric, etc. Or combining them like this. There's also something called surreal collage. Like, I would consider this surreal collage because it's not something that would really happen in real life. But I've collaged things just to kind of be interesting. Instead of the idol, instead of the sack, he's got flour and a giant coffee cup. So that's another type of collage. And these birds would also be considered collaging. There's a paper here, another paper back here, and their little beaks. So this is also collage. And then you've probably seen images like this, which are all, they're collage as well. I think like this one's, I think collage, like, so a collage could be something that creates a picture. It could be a background. That was paint, I think. Or it could be something like that. It could be paper, lace, I don't know. If you have any more questions, please ask them below, because I'm happy to figure out the answer for you on collage. So we'll interrupt the special with this special announcement. This is the thing I got to use as an inkwell. It is it has the British seal on it, I think, or I don't know what it has on it, but it's British Navy. I'm not saying that. It's rum. It's a little rum flask. That's, if I do that slow enough, if anybody knows, probably Latin, knows what it says, I don't know. So I'll just spin that slowly, and then I'll show you each bit individually. And then the rubber part is missing, so the guy said if I want it to stay in well, that I can use a rubber band, and that should work. But I got like a big bottle of Sumi ink, and that's what I'm going to use that for. And here's an example of a collage tag which was cut down from a masterboard. So it's a collage, so the background is all collage. It's got all the different papers, and then I've got a focal point and a quote on the front. And then there's also like this collage that I made of my mom. And this one has a lot of collages. Like this little bit here, that's considered a collage. We've got, you know, these images here and that background piece there. This is also a collage. I don't think that's glued down. But layering the pictures and whatnot. Let's see. You guys just saw this. I don't need to... Oh, that's not... No, that is the one. Where is it? There it is. And this is also collage. It's mixed media, but on the mixed media page is a collage. All these papers here are collaged, and these papers here are collaged. And they kind of like mirror each other a little bit just to balance the two pages. So whether you're using the collage for art or for ephemera, it's It's just kind of fun to do. Also, it said mixed media paper. You can use any paper. Like I could use this sketch pad to make a masterboard if I wanted to make one that huge. Or a smaller piece. I could use, you know, the brown paper. I could use a file folder. I could use anything, really. It's just, you could use an envelope. Oh, yeah, let's collage on some envelopes. I could do that. Oh, and I think Gail and them have been doing some collage lately. So I can show you, re-show you my trick that I use. I do have some tissue paper here that I might like to use. Let's see. Barbara at 49 Dragonflies has several videos where she makes like these kind of collages. That's another form of collage. Okay, do you think I know where my scraps are right now? No, I don't, because I went on not vacation. It was kind of a vacation. It was a vacation from my regular life, that to be sure. But it was a working vacation, you know? Oh, here's my, I was looking for one of my rulers. So, I want to cover the front of this envelope. I don't want to cover the whole thing necessarily, but I do want to go all the way across here. So, collage, it can be random. Oh, I might want to go over. Or it can be, you know, like this, where you layer them in a specific way to get the aesthetic that you're looking for. There's no rules. Alright, so I don't necessarily want this whole thing. I'll put something else down at the bottom here. But I will show you how I do this. I want the blue over here, I think. I don't know where I got this from. If it's a digital, I think it's a digital I just made, but I don't think it's in the kit yet. I think I just, hopefully will be at some point. So I'm going to just glue right here on this side. I don't want to go, let's hope this glue still works. Not had it. I forgot to put the cover on before I left. It's almost gone though, so it won't be too bad. Just up that side. I don't want to go over this way at all. I just want to go up that side. And I can glue any edges that I need to later. So I'm pressing that down nicely. So that now I can come to right about where, I think that might be it. Alright, we're gonna, if I had measured beforehand, it would have been, no, I think I need to go over just a little bit more. So I'm kind of guesstimating. It's guestology, as Carrie said this morning. And then I also don't want to go, so I'm just going around the window to the best of my ability. So I don't want to tear it all off. I'm going to stop right about there. And then I'm going to come in on this side to where the window is, which I think is right about here. I'd rather go further in where the window is than have the paper show. Right to the same point where I was over here. And then just go straight down here. And that is, there's paper back there showing, but you know. And I'm covering a little more of the window, but I'm okay with that if this is the look I want, where I have all around the window being the same. Now, yeah, I usually just do that. I don't try to get the fourth side because that's kind of a pain. So usually, sometimes I'll do like just two sides. This one I actually did 3. And that's how I do it. And a glue book would be nice because, oh, let me just show this. Because then I wouldn't get glue all over my paper. And then have it be stick and be shiny and weird forever and ever. Amen. So you can collage with large pieces, small pieces, combination. There are no rules. I know that Rachel, Roxy Creations, does have a video where she kind of gave the basics of collage. This is from a latitude and longitude, what was it called? It's a book I got. It was in my haul video, if you saw that. Site reduction tables. So if you ever see one of those and you like numbers, it's great for collage. I think this one was 1978. think I'll leave those numbers right down there too. So I'll come over a little bit because I can always go around the envelope on either side. I could go ahead and rip down there, or I could leave it like that. I don't mind if my window is covered up just a little bit, especially because that window is kind of large anyway. So I'm not too concerned about that. Now, if you're wondering, can it be considered collage if there's only 2 pieces of paper on there? Yes, I think that does fit the definition. It says sticking papers down to make your own. Well, you're basically doing the same thing as you do with a masterboard. You're making your own background pattern with patterns that you already have, basically. So yes, 2 pieces can be considered collage. I would probably add another piece down here just to break up. This is just a lot. So I would, myself, probably use something, and this might be nice because it adds something, but the numbers will still show through. So I'm just going to rip it randomly. And almost that green right there, so it works nicely. So you can see that this piece is collaged, but it is not a masterboard. Does that make sense? I could have inked that before I glued it down. That would have been the smart thing to do if I want to ink it. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure. You guys might have questions. Like you might do. I know I've done this before, but if you want to see how I collage papers together to make bigger papers, whatever size papers you want, I could do that. I don't have to do like, when I did this, I just kind of did like a really long strip of it and then cut it down into smaller pieces. But you can do it any way you want. And when you're collaging, you can use scraps, or you can use full pieces of paper that you tear down because maybe you have a specific look you have in mind. Let's see. Okay, stay on track, Darcy. You were going to make... I had another idea, that's why I'm telling myself to stay on track. And you can use glue stick or art glitter glue. It really doesn't matter. It does matter if your glue works or not. It's always super helpful. But like I said, I have not done any crafting in here since before I left. Did I say that? Anyway, this is my first time actually crafting since I've gotten back. I worked yesterday. And after I went to the grocery store last night, right as I was leaving, I get a message from my son. He video messaged me, which was good because then I could see he was okay. And he is okay, but he was in a car accident, so that all had to be dealt with yesterday. And that is never fun. And so that one I glued under. This one I'll glue on top. There's no rhyme or reason, but you do just want to make sure that everything overlaps at least a little bit, which is why I use the art glitter glue, so that I can kind of get precision gluing where I need it and have it. And it dries clear as well, which is helpful. So if I have double-sided paper, I don't really have to worry about these parts, but if it's really white on the back, sometimes I'll just either glue another paper on top of that, or I will, I'm trying to think and do this at the same time. That's hard to do. What was I saying? Oh, or I'll just like stencil. So like I said, this could be cut down as a masterboard, or I could cut it down and use it as for collage. So a masterboard can be used in collage. A masterboard can be made from collage. Collage can be used to make a masterboard, but also a collage is not always a masterboard. Am I making any sense? I hope so. I hope that this is clearing some things up for some people, because I am sure that Bente is not the only one with this question. I might turn this way. because this is going to be a page in a book, so it's going to be shown on both sides. So I want to think about both sides as I'm doing this. I probably could have done that on the other side, but that's all right. And this is all I do, is I just start gluing stuff down because it's fun. I can glue the same pattern down again. It's fine. Let's see. I know I'm covering up. Well, I don't have to cover up quite that much of it. I can always come back and cover that space there. I do want it straight, and if I was on my mat with the lines, it would make it a little easier to get it straight. So that is also a trick if you want it to be straight. Alright, I'm going to fill in that hole right there with something. Maybe even that. It's just slightly off from that. Alright, we got the music page again. Ooh, we got this side of the music page. I didn't realize that was like that. I didn't know those houses were there. Where? Alright, like I said, I haven't crafted in here for a while, so my studio is a little bit of a mess. Oh, that actually might be fun. It's just a stamp off page, which could just kind of be fun. And it's different enough blue, or I could even do it that way if I want to. Do it this way. So I'm just going to glue the outside of this and not worry about the middle, because as long as the outside is glued, you don't really have to have it glued all the way to the middle. And it just adds interest. And I can even add this one up here. Why not? Let's do it that way. The other side needs a little something something, doesn't it? Alright, let's flip it over. That might be a little easier. Just kind of want to go all the way over. Get as much of it in there as I can, because the more paper you have overlapping, the better as far as having it stay. Oh, and that's pretty, it's acrylic paint, so it's not going to glue quite as easily, or I didn't go all the way to the corner might even be the problem there. Alright. Well, that's made that taller, but I can trim that down to this height if that's the height I want the piece to be. Sure, why not? Whoops. Okay, so we're just going to go up there. How high does that go? A little bit higher than that. I do want to go to the edge of where my paper goes that I'm gluing on. That's always helpful. So don't worry about getting your edges perfectly straight. You can always cut it down afterwards to the size you want. So now I have like a nice big size, and I can fold it to make a page in a journal. I can add anything I want, really, but I might add that right there. It's a little bit heavier cardstock, so it'll help to, you know, strengthen that edge of the paper too. So this is a really big white spot, so, but if I want journaling space, then I might want to leave it like that. Or I might want to come in and do a little bit of stenciling. And if I do stenciling, I'd probably want to go over this part because, oops, sorry, because then it kind of like brings these papers together. It kind of, it marries them up. It unifies them, I guess, is kind of the words I want to. I'm not worried about getting the whole stencil. I just kind of want a hint of it, you know. And I could go one direction and then I could go another direction. There's no rules. So that already made a big difference. So it's not quite a big stark white background. Yes, it's still white, but sometimes you want some blank spaces to use if you're making journal pages. So that's another form of collage. Let's see, we did the envelope. We did making your own journal pages, which, you know, if I cut it down, then it makes it a masterboard, but I'm probably not going to cut it down. I already showed you the surreal. What is this? This is an envelope. Did I? Oh, this is an envelope that I... Alright, so even if I just do a little bit of, like, maybe add this on here. So now I'm collaging on this. Am I going to cover the whole thing with paper? Nope. I'm just adding bits, maybe. You gotta be careful with tissue paper. Sometimes glue stick and tissue paper are not friends. This is heavy enough tissue paper that it let me do that. So I'm just gonna put that there. I'm gonna go ahead and fold that over, because I definitely don't mind if that's on that side too. Even, no, not there. This has to be able to open, Darcy. Pay attention. Oh yeah, this has to be able to open. Pay attention. I thought it was on the other side of that, I think. So if your thing is going to open, just pay attention to what you're doing. And maybe not glue it closed like I almost did. There we go. So that is considered collage. Yes, there's just 2 pieces on there. But now you have interest. It's created some interest by adding those papers of collage. And then you can add a focal point. What? I don't know. You can add a bear if you want to. He kind of doesn't quite fit though, does he? Unless I want to make it pages that go this way. No, I don't really want to do that. I kind of want to put him somewhere though. Now that I found him. Alright, let's make a collage for him that can then later go on something larger. So I'm just going to take some of this paper again, and I'm going to layer it in a way that makes him look good. So I was looking earlier for some of the collage pieces I have, and here is an example of one. So these are like masterboards that I collaged that I'll cut down to make something else. I would say these are not how I intend them to be in the end. These are collage that I'll probably add mixed media to. Some inks, stenciling, stamping, maybe some paint, maybe some, just all kinds of things. I was looking for something that would look good. Well, he's in nature. So, also when you have tags in a journal kit, you do not have to use them as tags. You can just cut them down and use them as scraps. So generally when people are talking about, so this is another question that I've heard recently, it's about scraps, like what's a scrap? Generally, when people are talking about scraps, they are talking about pieces that are left over. Like food scraps are food scraps that are left over from your meal or whatever. Paper scraps are pieces that are left over from whatever it is you've been working on. But you can also like create your own scraps, because also a scrap of paper is basically a piece of paper. It's a scrap. It's not a full piece of paper. It's a scrap. Not that you can't also make your own scraps from a full piece of paper. You totally can. So, don't know why well, maybe I want to see if I like this one better. I don't know. Maybe I do. So, I don't know. What is your definition of a masterboard? What is your definition of collage? What is your definition of scrap? Say below in the comments. I think it's personal opinion. There's no hard, fast rules about these things, in my opinion, because if you want to call a scrap only things that are smaller than a piece of paper, you can. If you also want to include pieces of printed ephemera that you then use differently as the intention, then that all can become a scrap too. Like one of these can become a scrap. They're supposed to be little journal cards, but I don't have to use them as journal cards. I can use it as a scrap because maybe I just like that's another color tone. You don't, and you can do your scraps, like when you're using collage, you can add color or you can keep it neutral. It's totally up to you. I'm not sure what I want to do with him. And also, he does not have, he can come off the scrap a little bit of this thing because wherever I put it, you know, there'll be something else behind him. So if he comes off it a little bit, it's okay because this is just to help give him, I actually think I like this neutral one the best. So there's that. I am not usually a neutral person, but particularly for some reason with that bear, I just kind of preferred the neutral. So I'm going to, oh, you know what? I'm going to pull this up a little bit before it dries. And sometimes you just might want to have a little bit of a grunge it up. This is probably more grungy than shabby chic. I was watching somebody this morning that was kind of doing more shabby chic looks with her methods that she was showing. But those methods with shabby chic, take them one step further and they'll become grungy. I can try, if I remember, I'll link her below since I did mention her. I forget her name. Alright, let's just glue him right on there. And now he's ready to use on either a big piece of ephemera or on a journal page. So sometimes I will do like my pre-focal points, which is just, this is just another form of collage. And this paper here is kind of like the ground. So that is his ground in a manner of speaking, because he's almost like he's going up a mountain. Not gonna work, Darcy. Not gonna work. Oh my goodness. Like I say, it's been a while since I made a video. Well, no, it's been a while since I've been in my studio crafting. Oh my goodness. Alright, my voice is still a little bit low, but yesterday it was like super husky. Because I didn't sleep good the night before last. It wasn't because I was binge watching Bridgerton. It was because, I mean I was, but that's because I couldn't sleep. It was because my side effects from the shingle shot, I had shivers and stuff, and so I had taken a nap. So I woke up around 8 p.m. and nap time was over. Alright, so are we going to put a focal point on this? What are we going to do with this? Add a little stenciling? What? Add some stamping. Oh, I might want to add some stamping. So, ooh, although this leaf would be fun since it's there. What color? Oh, dark blue, I'm thinking. Chip sapphire might work. That might be chip sapphire back there, but it might not be. It's not that big there. That says light blue. I don't know where the dark blue is right this second. So we're, oh wait, it's right here. They're almost the same color. A blue leaf? Yes, you can do a blue leaf. I didn't want to do green because I was kind of concerned that green would be... I've got these two greens that are similar and I didn't want to like clash my green. Does that make sense? Also, I don't want the leaf to go the same way every time. And maybe do one this way. Also turn the stencil around. That's the nice thing about a stencil. What if I outline that somehow? Not with that. That's not helpful. What is this one? 0.03. Let's see. I'm just going to put a little dot on some of the bits so I can kind of follow it maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Don't know why I put the dots. That was kind of silly. Because I'm not looking for perfection. I mean, I want perfection. I always want perfection. I'm trying to learn how to not depend on perfection and expect perfection. I'm trying to just love it, however it is. There we go. So now the leaves stand out a little bit. Daisy, daisy. I'll stick on these blue, I think. Blue, well, that's the opposite of blue is orange. Opposite of green is red. So maybe like a burnt orange or rusty. Rusty hinge. Rusty hinge or mahogany. One of those, I think. I might go with aged mahogany. It's a little bit more of a neutrally maybe. And who knows what it's actually going to look like, because now that I've wet it, whatever color was there before may affect it. I don't know if that's as dark as I want it. Could do brown. I could do brown. Alright, I created this stamp because I have another stamp that I found at the thrift store that I like a lot. But there were some things about it I didn't love, so I made my own, created my own stamp to make it how I love it. There we go. That is kind of cool. Okay, I held it down long enough so I got good color on there too. Yay! Part of me wants to still bring in the rusty hinge. Just a little bit. Maybe on the outside edges here. And just going to come in on the edge here. And on the corner here. The rusty hinge is not showing if you're wondering. This is rusty hinge. I just kind of want to bring a couple of those in. Hoping I have this turned a little bit differently. Yeah, it's not a big difference. I like an all over pattern. It's super subtle. So subtle, it's a secret. We love that. I'm hot. I haven't plugged my fan back in yet since coming back from my trip because I haven't been down here. Because yes, I take my fan with me. I know some of you can relate. So that's collage, which I've then, I don't know, can you collage with stamps? It's almost like stamping and stenciling is part of the collage. That's just an all over back pattern. And if I wanted to, I can come back in with a focal point if I want to. I don't have to. I don't have to want to. But, you know, started with collage, and once you do the collage, you can do whatever you want to it. That might have been my point. I don't know what my point was. Did I have a point? I don't know. So, masterboards can be collage. Masterboards can be used in a collage. But masterboards can be many other things as well. They can be all kinds of mixed media, mark making, all the things. And collage can be a masterboard. Collage can be paper, journal pages that you make. It can be background. It can be, where's that other piece? Oh, and it can be like this kind of a thing where you use it as a background for your focal point. I don't know if I've made things more clear. Everything's clear as mud now, right? Hopefully, anyone who was confused comes out with a better understanding of it. And I hope you all have a delightful day. Love you.